Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Edinburgh Northern Cockerel cast. Joining us for this one is a well-established part of the furniture at the bunker. He is a former player, the beginning and end of every post-match boat race. He's now a fixture at every Northern social along with Mrs. C. Together, I might add, they put together an unrivaled spread for welcoming our touring sides. With no further ado, he is the man mountain, Mike Cuthbert. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Hi everybody, I'm fine and I hope everyone else is well. Nobody's dying of this COVID shit.
Fantastic, thanks very much.
Neither of us yet, I don't think. So firstly, what have you got to drink with us?
I have got a little vodka soda here with a squeeze of lemon juice in it.
Fantastic.
Nice. I've got a Scottish cider actually from the Lost Orchards that my wife bought a case of for my birthday. Michael?
I'm having a non-alcohol day, so I've got a Heineken Blue, so we'll see how that goes.
Well done. A few too many at the weekend, I suppose.
Yep, a wee bit, something like that.
Same here.
Good stuff. So firstly, Mike, your lockdown situation, how are you managing?
It's getting a bit boring now, isn't it? It really is. But I get by with alcohol and wife beating. I mean, I get drunk and she beats the shit out of me, really. But it's those 2-day hangovers, and one time there recently I had a 3-day hangover. It was awful. I've never had that before, but I guess it comes with age, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're actually recording this on a Monday because we couldn't get you Friday and Saturday, so you're quite busy on your...
Well, they offered me Sunday, but I put them off because I was going to have a hangover, and I was right.
You're more sociable than either of us, Mike, in lockdown.
I know, well, we've got these neighbours, you see, and we do these over-the-fence things.
Very nice.
We get a bit closer than that. But, and one of the girl upstairs, it was her birthday on Saturday, so we were outside in the rain. And, it was
Fun.
ridiculous. Oh, good.
Excellent. So we'll move into the body of the interview. So you're obviously a very well kent face at Northern. Do you want to maybe give us a brief kind of touch on your backstory? So where you're from, what you did for work or still working, and your family and relationship. I know we've touched on Iron at the start as well there.
I'm actually retired now. I mean, 2 years retired now, and I'm loving it. It's like being on holiday from work the whole time. It's really great. I was born, I'm not originally from Scotland. I'm originally from Yorkshire. I was born at quite an early age, really. In fact, it was 0. And it was in a seaside town in East Yorkshire, Faded Glory Place. It used to be one of those seaside popular places with fairgrounds and stuff, and now it's just a dump, an absolute dump. It's down the coast a bit from where the Blackhawls come from. Yeah, they're from Bridlington. I'm from a place called Withensea, which no one's heard of. And they probably never will. I did work beside a guy who was born there too. He was no longer from there either.
Excellent.
I moved up. We moved to Scotland when I was 3. And I think of myself as Scottish now, and I support Scotland. So.
Quite right. Yeah. That makes a change from some of our other English guests that we've had on who've lived here for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's longer, isn't it? 3. I didn't know any
better. So what brought you to Edinburgh then?
Well, my mum was from Scotland and my dad was from Yorkshire, and they met at Lookers in the Rath, and we went back to live in a little village called Pastrington, and I was born down there. My sister was born down there, and it was my dad worked in a farm, and she thought, I don't want this for my kids, so she brought us all up to here so we could do better. It didn't work for me, obviously, but the rest of them are doing fine. It's okay. I'm retired now, as I say. I was a jockey all these years, you know. And I don't even do ice dance now. Giving up the ice dancing. It's getting too old and arthritic. They don't make the horses like they used to. But honestly, no, truthfully, I started working for Aunties back in 1970. And that went through a few name changes over the years and ended up as Leonardo MW. The MW is Marconi Westlands. It's a to remind people what the background was. But I don't miss it. I liked what I did, and it was fine. And I travelled the world a bit, and I went here and there, but you always, when you came back to Edinburgh, that was a place to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's okay. They looked after me. In lockdown, though, I just put about the garden now, and I go shopping, and I do a lot of cooking and over the fence sessions, as I've mentioned.
Good.
Yeah. How did I get to Northern? I joined from work with a couple of guys from work. One went to Canada, and the other one, he hung about for a while. He still lives in Edinburgh, I believe. He's from Inverness. He's called Peter McKinnon. He played for Cali Thistle, and he played for us. He's a very good player. I think he played in the centre, actually. He went to university and off to Saudi and places like the Wilder eventually, and he never came back. Got married and settled down. I went a few places. So I played for a few clubs. When I went to Decca to work in Iran, I went to the training centre in Brixton in South Devon, Brixham. And so I played Brixham Rugby Club for a while there. I was there for 3 months. When I went back to school in Bristol, I met up an old member from Northern called Dennis White. Sadly, he's deceased now, as a lot of them are. He came me to his club. It was called Kingswood in Bristol. But I also played on the Wednesdays for the student team, and sometimes on a Sunday. And then when I worked in Chicago, I played for the Northwest Woodsmen. That was a good side. They were very, very brutal. They were more interested in thuggery than playing rugby. It was fun. At the aftermatch parties, they rivaled Northerns. They were excellent. It was good.
Excellent. So you mentioned a good few previous clubs then. What sort of positions did you play through all that time then?
Oh yeah, when I was younger, I was thin, and I got quite fit, and I played second row. And as I got older, I got fatter, and I couldn't jump as high. The population got taller too, so it was quite awkward. And really, lifting wasn't allowed then, and you weren't allowed forklifts on the truck to lift me. So I went to prop. I went to prop forward eventually. Now, once I got over the initial beatings and getting hammered every week, I got quite strong, and I absolutely loved it. I loved making them squeal. And, I just loved propping. It was much more aggressive. Fantastic place. Fantastic. Loved it.
Excellent. I think we've covered that. So, there was no representative rugby of note or trophies that you earned along your way?
Well, I did get invited to play for the Ferranti team, which later on became Inverleith, merged with Holy Cross, I think it was, became Inverleith. They were opening their new clubhouse, which is the one opposite Northern on the other side of the park, the bowling club. That's where they were drinking from after their games, and they had a couple of pitches there. We then went on to take over. The guy called me up and he said, "You'll be playing behind Norrie Rowan and what's his name? The Calder brother, the older one." I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it.
Finlay?
That was the other one.
Jim Calder.
Jim Calder, yeah, and Norrie Rowan. And he called me up. He told me all these names, and I said, I said to him, "Have you got the right person?" I said, "Do." He said, "No, it's you we want." He said, and I went along. It was great. And the guy, Bill Lothian, who wrote for the Evening News, I don't know if he still does, the rugby writer, he was playing too, but he went off early with his shoulder out. That was good fun. And they took me on board. They let me kick the ball and all that.
Fantastic. So you talked about how Peter McKinnon maybe brought you down to Northern. When did you apart from say,
he didn't actually bring me. It was my uncle Bill Watson, who was a hooker at the club, and I was a young lad, about 17. And he said, "Come down at the club, I'll get you fit." And I came down and I watched him training and playing. I thought, "Oh my God, that's rough." And I did get fit. He was great. I played with him a few games as well, and that's a happy memory. He's dead now, unfortunately. He died recently. He was good. That was about 1971 or 72, I think, when we joined. The bar in the club was just a hatch, and the beer was absolutely awful, but it was cheap. And we drank lots of it. I think it was dry burrs at the time. We called it sludge. Pint of sludge, please. It was awful.
I don't know if you've had the opportunity to drink a pint of best out of the taps recently, Mike, but it's not far off that.
No, that's it. You don't sell as much of that. You might be.
No, it's all the bottles, eh?
Yeah, that's what I drink now as well when I go there.
Good. So on the pitch then, Mike, were there any favourite sort of victories or games that you played in during your time?
Oh, where's my notes? The biggest one, of course, is the Murrayfield game where we won the league. That was incredible. I can't remember the game. I can't remember what happened in the game. But it was one of those matches where you're beating the shit out of each other for 40 minutes each way. And then the full-time whistle went, and we all just kind of went a huge sigh of relief, and the emotions then came over. Oh, it was just incredible. And the party, of course. Oh, that was incredible. Party, I think it was up a disco uptown, and there's a copper thing behind the bar. An etched piece of newspaper, I think they got put onto copper.
Yeah, that's at the it's over at the
hatch.
I think it's over the kitchen hatch. Yeah, it's over the kitchen hatch now.
Yeah.
Still in pride of place beside the dance floor. Yeah. So no, it was Uncle Joe talked about that game quite a lot. Although he remembers the game, you maybe remember the party a bit better than he does. But
I don't remember the party. I remember the hangover.
So he talks about it. Is there anything else from kind of, obviously that game being a big highlight for a lot of players of your generation? Is there anything else that stands out from your time on the pitch?
That was probably the biggest thing ever. We went into the higher leagues, which was probably Division 7, I think, at that time. And our first game was at Forfar, which is up north a wee bit there. And we were thinking, we're in the big time now. No more of these rubbishy clubhouses. Wrong. Forfar. We had to chase the sheep off the pitch, and that's true. And the changing room was a brick concrete thing, and it had one shower head which was frozen, and it was a trickle. It was the most horrible place ever. They did have good righties. Oh, it's fabulous. Oh dear. And then, of course, the Golden Oldies, I played for them with the Gents.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few guys turned up for that. It was good. It was at Murrayfield, and it was just fun the whole time. Kenny Telford and I think it was James Moncard, maybe Blackhall as well. They did a tour of the world where they played for all the other teams and collected a whole bunch of shirts and things. It was just great. And I remember John Beattie playing in his band in the beer tent. It was fab. They kept changing bands. And, it was just one long party. Dave Peace arranged all that. But Dave Peace started off the Gents. He was great.
So did you worm your way over for many tries then at your time?
No, I can't even remember any, quite honestly. I did get a few, but I can't remember any of them at all. Yeah, I wish I could. They were probably spectacular.
I think I remember most of mine because there weren't that many actually.
Yeah, probably count on one hand.
Yeah,
I'm selfish.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm an encyclopedia of my own try success, which is quite sad. Different players with different motivations for the game, I suppose. I've always been quite selfish when it comes to that kind of thing. You've touched on a couple of names there. I recognise, Kenny Telford, I know relatively well, and Ali Blackhall. Did you have any players that you particularly enjoyed playing alongside when you were at Northern, or in the front row, or just on the pitch in general?
Yeah, back in the early days, I played alongside a guy called Ian Ingalls. And his dad and his mum used to come down and watch him all the time. And he's moved off down south. He was a good second row. Yeah, Peter Bonington was good fun. But he was getting old when he joined our club. He was over 40, and he was getting a bit punch drunk. And I remember one game we were in, and we were on a wing, and he straight up for a high ball, and he always shouted Bonington. And he jumped, caught this ball, and we all scampered off across the park to a line out on the other side, and we had no Peter Bonington. And he was getting up off the ground. What happened to him? And the referee went over to him and said, "You okay?" He said, "No, I'm embarrassed." And the ball had hit his chest, and then hit his chin, and laid him out. It's funniest thing. It's funniest things that you remember, How did that happen? Who hit you? Nobody. The ball. Unbelievable.
Fantastic. And obviously, are you I can never get my timings right. Are you the same kind of era as Brechin and Uncle Joe as well?
Yeah, I think I was before them, but yeah, Zinzan Breakin, or number 8, he was a good player. Joe Smith, he's cheeky. I mean, he was cheeky on the pitch, and he was cheeky off the pitch. But when he was newish at the club, and as this guy came down and joined, and we always make people welcome. He was called Brian Palmer, and he had a bit of a plummy voice. And Joe's up there giving him the big licks and taking the mickey out of him. And the guy says, "Are you this cheeky with everybody in the club?" See me, I take the mickey out of everybody in this club, And he said, "Really, everybody? Go take the mickey out of him," and because he points to me. He's joking over, and he starts taking the mickey, and yeah, all right, off you go. Well, one of the things you miss about Joe, of course, was his Oxfam shirts. He used to wear, but he was a student then. So. he lived on chicken curry fried rice and a portion of chips and a bottle of iron brew. For breakfast to his flat, but you had to buy the breakfast and take it in. That was great. We used to do this thing in, I think it was the Glencairn Hotel, and it was called Fire Practice, where we just got fished. Joe, of course, was very, very well known for his wind. One time Alan Brown was going to sock him because he was particularly good that day. Oh dear, poor Joe. And who can forget the Wildcat discos? He ran a disco called, with his mate, called Wildcat. And he did all the club discos, of course. But he only had about 6 records. And he played them all over and over again. And then every now and again, every sort of once or twice a year, he'd buy a new record. And it was like a celebration. Play again, Joe! Brilliant. They were great people.
He did not mention that in his podcast, so I'll have to make a point of asking about Wildcat discos when I next see him or get a chance to catch up with him.
Quite a whole podcast on it.
So, Mike, across all your time, then, is there a sort of unique selling point of Northern that you would push forward?
I think it's the camaraderie and the way you make people welcome. It's the same as Joe said, really. He said, you go in there. I mean, I went away quite often. I went to Iran and Saudi and numerous other places. And they came back. And whenever you came back to Northern, you just picked up exactly where you left off. And you make friends for life, as you well know. Mm-hmm. It's great. Although I've probably lost them all now after this.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Joe that.
Oh yeah, clubs. I love the club. I love going there.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, we both miss it quite a lot at the moment, and I imagine it's the same for the old boys as well. Because not having rugby on a Saturday to come and watch, or even having any day events that we could have had in this time, it's quite sad. But moving on, I suppose, to the future a wee bit, and also looking back, do you have a favourite night out from your time at Northern, or maybe a tour as well?
Oh, a tour! Oh, jeez, that's a whole book.
No, well, we're here for stories.
So. Way back at the start, we didn't go far and wide like we do now. We used to just go places like Whitley Bay, and Newcastle Northern and Sea Point in Dublin. They were all great. We used to get fished, and Captain would say, "Don't drink before the game." Well, that'll never work. We didn't drink, of course. We just drank things like half pint of Guinness topped up with champagne and stuff like that, because that's not really drinking, is it?
No.
Oh, it was wild. And of course now, we went. I remember the tour to Prague, and I went late because I was working. I went on my air miles, and the boys all went. And I knew when I got there they'd be fished. Eventually, I got a taxi. Eventually, I had to go to town to a hotel to get a taxi. I tried from the airport, but the guys were taking the mickey. Anyway. We drove right through Prague and out the other side, and I thought, where is this guy taking me? And we came into these Soviet-built blocks of flats, the concrete jungles.
Mm-hmm.
All those places, I thought, this don't look good. And I saw these hotel lights in the distance, and he pulled up, he turned in next to it, and I thought, what a dump! And I said, thank God we're not staying there. And he pulled up the street a bit and then turned around the corner and stopped. And it was dark, completely dark. And I'm saying, no, here's the address. Well, up this place. And he's going, over there. And it was our hotel. And I went in and they only had like a candle or something. It was just ridiculous. But it was £5 a night, including breakfast. It was incredible. Eventually, I did a tour of the hotel trying to find a room. None of the rooms were locked. You just walked in. And eventually I could go into rooms and see, 2 kit bags, 2 beds. And then eventually I ended up in a room which had 2 rooms in it, 2 bedrooms. And one was Horney and Brecon. And the other one was Brian Otter and John Archer. But I had a 3rd bed, so I got in that bed. And I couldn't sleep because John Archer snores. He's got some sort of resonant cavity in his head, and when he snores, the walls shake. It's unbelievable. But there was a couple of stories from that room, which of course I won't mention any names, but John Archer, in the night apparently, on the first night, I didn't know about it, he got out the room window and crawled along and tapped on the next door's room, so Horney let him in. So I was looking out the window in the morning and it was like Sarajevo, only rough. It was all burnt, burst couches and cars on. It was absolutely awful. Anyway, nobody got shot. But Mike Horney says, last night John Archer got out the window, came along the ledge and came in ours. I'm looking at this. What ledge? There's no ledge. And we're about 4 stories up. And he'd gone along the brickwork, just clinging onto the joints and the bricks. Unbelievable. Never, if he'd fallen, that'd have been the end of him. And then on the last night, I got up in the night for a wee, and I went to the toilet, and I noticed there was blood everywhere. There was blood in the sink, and blood on the toilet, blood on the floor. I thought, what's going on here? And then I noticed in the waste bin in the toilet, there was all this glass. Big sheets of broken glass. I thought, what's that? Well, unbeknownst to me, for the entire time we were there, the bedroom door, which was a glass door, was open with a chair in front of it. And during the night, John Archer got up, moved the chair, closed the door, and walked through it. That was right next to my head. But I never heard it, of course, because I was a bit, I think I was tipsy. And I just unbelievable. And he said what he did was he picked up the glass, he got all the big bits, then to clean the floor up, because I walked through barefoot and never noticed a thing. He picked it all up with his feet and then pulled out the glass out with his feet. In the morning when I woke up, John stopped snoring and he sat up and he had an elastoplast over there and an elastoplast over his nose. And I said, oh, jeez, when did you get here? He was with his war paint on. Jeez, and then he told me the story. Unbelievable. I don't know why that guy's alive. It was a good hotel though. We did get asked, we got invited to leave or face the police on the last day, but not for what he did. Somebody lit a fire extinguisher off the night before. It was a powder one, so it was absolutely everywhere. We just had to give them some damage money, which was about 20 quid, because it was very cheap in these days. Beer was 26 pence a pint. The big bottles, the big ones, 26 pence. So we were fighting each other to get around. We got, I think it was something like 26 bottles, or was it 20, or a big crate of beer with extra bottles on top. And it was a £5. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. There you go, Michael. History does repeat itself.
Honestly.
Wasn't it Wilson did something? Was it Poland?
You mentioned
that story. Where they got asked to leave the hostel anyway, didn't they?
That was a very recent tour where Wilson behaved inappropriately in the night and woke up to finding the touring party evicted as the direct result of his actions.
Mike, I think I toured with you to Germany in 2009. So would there be any sort of favourite cities or countries that you've toured with Northern?
Oh, who can remember? Because you know what it's like when you go on these tours. It ends up being a tour of an Irish bar.
Yeah.
In Budapest, we went to an Irish bar. We got on the state TV there because we were playing their champions. And then we went to Bourges in France, and they had a pipe band and did national anthems, and that was unbelievable. We got all these places, of course. In Prague, the first game we played, they were very poor, and they took us to some place. It was like out of a Soviet war film set, like Cold War. It was next to a factory yard with these big red and white chimneys. And the rugby club is a nice wee hut with a bar in it. It was really good. And we played them, but they only had one ball. But they were very, very fit, and we were very, very drunk. The only thing we could do was boot the ball over into this factory yard, and it took me ages to get it back, so we got a rest. It was awful.
Fantastic. And obviously, you've been, as long as I've been at the club, and I imagine a long time before, you've been heavily involved in helping putting on the spreads and stuff for touring sides visiting us. Do you have a particular, maybe a favourite touring side that's come to visit us, or maybe a couple of them?
Oh, there was a French team. I don't remember their names, unfortunately. And we gave them haggis. And they were questioning qu'est-ce que c'est haggis? What is this haggis? But that was good fun. We just loved it. It's hard work, though, I've got to say. It was hard work. It's good fun.
Remarkably impressive spread every time. I just wish we could have that for our first 15 and second 15 games, because it would certainly beat having pies week in, week out.
We had pies as well, so I know exactly what you mean. Didn't do many ham the pies.
Well done. So I think we have a couple of listener questions in here, if you don't mind answering.
Yep. So the first one is from @OldAgeDisneyCometCell, which is, can you still do a 4-second pint? And if so, prove it.
I don't have a pint here, but no. We did it the other week there. Oh, no, it was the other month now, wouldn't it? It was a boat race at the club. No, it was at the virtual dinner, wasn't it?
That's right.
Indeed.
Looks like I haven't got any beer here. Can I do 4 seconds? I used to do 3, but I don't know if I could do 4 now. Probably. Is that a challenge?
It is a challenge, but if you don't have any beer, don't worry about it. I'm sure you can demonstrate it to ourselves when the bunker reopens, and you can take on some of the young guns who maybe think they could do better than 4 seconds, but I doubt it. So
the same listener actually told us about the boat races you used to do. I believe you used to start and finish a boat race, Mike. Can you talk us through that?
That's right, yeah. And the opposition would go, you're a man short. And it's okay, I'm going twice. And then I do the first pint and they go, oh no. In the end and finish off the second one. Oh, yeah. It's not PC, but back in the day, Edinburgh Ackies had a boat race contest, which they held in a nightclub. It was Tiffany's. It's in George Street. It's long gone. Not George Street, it was in Stockbridge, but it's long gone now. Myself, Joe, and Miskell, and 2 women. And we'd have won it except for Joe, because he insisted on drinking a pint before each race. And by the time we got to the last race, he'd had enough pints. He couldn't get his own one down.
No, I wouldn't make the mistake of having a beer before having to do a boat race. Not to boxing. The second listener question comes in from @RumblinTum, which is, what is your secret ingredient for your chili con carne?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Has to be over 70% chocolate.
Oh.
Put chocolate in it. Transforms it.
Excellent.
Yeah, testify, it's pretty good now. So, Mike, what then are you most looking forward to when life returns to normal?
Getting out. Getting back to the club, obviously. I'm really looking forward to that. First game down there, we'll get back into death row with the old guys there by the bar, and hopefully no more will have fallen off the peg by then. Sad news for Mike Sanders there. That was terrible. That's like almost, it's like the hospital killed him. It's just, get out of here. Terrible.
No, that was a shame.
No, I think we're both pining for it too, Michael, aren't we?
Although apparently Thursday may bring outside drinking again, which we can all look forward to with happiness. I'm personally, as soon as I'm told that there'll be a pub open that has a beer garden that I can go and sit in, I'll be running down the street, similar to the manner I did when lockdown was announced in the first place. So, no, it'll be good.
I can see how that could be arranged in Northern.
Just We've
got 2 convenient hatches there that they can serve out.
Great.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, paid one, collected the other. That sounds ideal. Very good. So next time on the Cockerel Cast, we'll be speaking to former player, former captain, and recent former president, Drew Chapman. So we'll hope you join us for that one. But for now, Mike, it's been a pleasure chatting as always. We trust you and Irene are staying safe, and I'm hoping it's not too long before we're stuffing our faces with one of your famous buffets.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.